What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another episode of Necesse, and we are going straight into the mines to start off trying to get some actual decent resources. Now in the meantime, from the resources we collected in last episode, I have managed to make myself an iron sword and an iron pickaxe. Ever so slightly quicker, as you can see. Not massive, but it's definitely noticeable, and it wasn't that expensive. It required 10 ingots to make the pickaxe. There is still the shovel and the axe that are of course wood, but we'll get to them when we get to them. Also got a bow loaded up. That was cheap enough to make. And really I'm after any of the two metals really, so copper or iron will work for me. Iron to use for myself to get my armor up, currently in a leather outfit, and then copper used for the NPCs as and when we get them. There is a lot. You can of course go to other world tiles, to other villagers and take their villagers if you buy them, though realistically the cost is quite high actually for a lot of them. The cheapest I've seen so far is like a hunter that requires about 200 to 300 gold and about 30 wool, which 30 wool is, that's a lot of sheep. Yeah, that's a lot of sheep. So after a lot of mobs and quite a lot of copper found, more than anything really, I think we're full. We're as full as we can be, so I'm going to use one of my scrolls of teleportation. They just take you back to your spawn point. Very useful, very handy. If you get in a pinch, you can use it. It's an instant cast and an instant teleport, so if you get in a pinch, I would suggest that you use them as a get out of jail free card. I haven't set my spawn yet, which is why I went to the grass there. But if you set spawn on your bed, you will indeed spawn at your bed. So, management, as you've probably seen if you've watched me play any other games, is the thing. I'm not OCD, but a lot of people would say they were. I like to have certain things in certain places in a certain order, though the order's not that important. Just so I would have like a chest for flasks, I would have a chest for planting and farming, and a chest for mining, and then a chest for crafting, just to keep things sort of quote unquote orderly. Of course, all of the crafting utensils that you use, both what we've got up there, so from the right you've got the crafting table or the workbench, the forge, the anvil, and then the alchemy table, I believe that is. They work from any of the storages, so as long as they're within range, which the range is about 20 blocks I believe from wherever you are. There is a lot of stuff that I don't know whether I should be chucking or not, because some of it you can upgrade into other things, some of it you can't, some of it's consumable, some of it isn't, so it's just getting used to what resources are. The ninja stars are consumable as what they are, that you throw them, they are ninja stars, they do damage. So predominantly I'm going to sell a lot of them. You can't upgrade them into anything, so again there's no point in that. Question mark above that person's head there is a miner. Question mark means you can recruit them, and as far as I'm aware, the question mark being yellow like that means that you do have the resources in order to actually hire them or buy them, whatever you want to call it. I'm making it a bit pretty here with a couple of the pillars I stole outside my house, subject to change. And we'll whiz over now to speak to Alicia. Will you join my settlement? 441 gold. Yes, she will. So she is now a member of our town settlement. She can do certain tasks, though you will need to tell her what to do. She can also go out on a mining trip. She's got a spare iron sword, that's useful. She's currently going straight into farming. But you can send her out, or you can send any of the characters out on their specialization. So the miners you can send out to do mining after a specific resource. The hunter you can send out hunting for a specific food source. The fisherman you can send out fishing for specific fish. It does cost you gold. You basically pay them a wage, and then they come back a few hours later with a decent amount actually. It's worth it, and especially if you've got multiple, because you can have multiple of any of the characters. So you can have multiple miners, which I believe I do, and then things happen and I may or may not lose them. But so if you had 4 miners, you can of course send all 4 out and get a lot of resources without going anywhere. The clothes they're wearing are based on their profession, but as soon as you kit them out with armor, that will of course change. Though cosmetically you can override that, no problem. Just adding in a space now to put this down. Carpentry station. This allows us to use, build a lot more variants of items using wood, stone, etc. Specifically floors and other various things that are very useful. The bed is included. Of course, the characters will forage and collect things. As you can see here, the blacksmith has collected those few items, so I can take them. If I hadn't have took them, he would have put them in a storage somewhere, or anywhere actually. You can depict where they go or don't go. You can get them to sort the same as I do. So I've just told this miner to now please go and get me some iron ore, and that's 150 gold. Sorry, 155 to be exact. So she will disappear and come back shortly with a nice amount of iron ore and stone. So again, you always get stone. Again, the hunter here, 148, quite cheap, but you need a lot of wool, and that's not that cheap, or it's not that easy to get, because that's killing a lot of sheep or shearing a lot of sheep if you have them in a pen. Food, of course, is important. Everybody needs to eat food to stay alive. Similar to Minecraft, if your food runs out, you will start to die. Also, every single food has a bonus or buff. So depending on what you eat is depicted to then the buff that you get by eating that said item. The better the food, the better the buff. And the buff is also used on the people as well, your NPCs in battle as well. So she has returned 80 iron ore and a 230 stone. Wonderful. 80 iron ore is not that easy to get. To be honest, iron ore's harder to get than gold, it seems, for me anyway, in my world. Again, procedural, so it's probably just the luck of the draw. However, gold does work, and there's no durability, and gold is better than iron, so I'm just going to basically be jumping to gold and stuff quicker than the iron stuff. It's the same difference, I suppose. Ever so slightly increased, not game changing at all. Made myself a lunchbox, which allows me to put all of my food into one tile, one hotbar, and then I just eat. Now, of course, it is important to remember, you can see by the top, B does work like it does in Terraria. So any of your flasks, buffs, etc. that you have on you, if you press B, it uses every single one of them in one go. One of each of them, of course. And you can see I'm very buffed up, even though I'm not really doing anything with it. That rod there summons a little minion to help me out, a little zombie guy. Right, cutting more trees, and a tip that I will say, and it certainly worked for me, it's a lot easier to get stone just because of the mining process and every other thing that you do. Even when you send the miners out, they come back with loads of stone, than wood. Wood's more difficult. Now, you can set them to chop trees for you in a specific area, but For me, it's not been that successful as of yet. I've ended up having thousands, and that's not an exaggeration, thousands of stone and 0 wood, because you use wood for crafting, you use wood for building your furniture, you use wood for fueling your fires and cooking your food, etc. So, and you need a lot of wood to make the farm plots as well. So switching to your buildings to stone with the stone floors pretty soon, I would suggest you do, and then you don't require any wood to do that, and it just saves you a resource. Plus, I think the stone looks better personally, but that's personal choice. Obviously, the walls that I have and the floors that I have down that are all wood that you can see, you pick them all up. You can't turn them back into wood, but you can pick them up and build something else. So what I'll probably try and do is a central little shrine building that is the mine. I might do in wood, so it's like a shed, and then all other buildings for everybody else I'd like to do in stone moving forward. Just to show you the world map. That's the normal map, this is the world map. So each of them squares is a whole new procedurally generated place that you can go to. To get there, all you have to do is go to the edge of the map you're currently on, whether that be north, south, east or west, and it will give you a travel point, a button to click. You click and it loads that next square. Anything can be there, from hostile cities to friendly cities to absolutely nothing, to snow biomes, desert biomes and the like. And here we go, upgrading now to stone. And really helpful is it's just replacing, picking up the wood that was there and putting down the stone that now is there. So again, really good quality of life feature there for this game. They've clearly paid attention or played the other games that I've mentioned that are in sync with this and taken some of those advantagements to obviously make their game a lot easier and more comfortable to play. With an extra building built for just the beds for the other NPCs that are going to be living with us, the settlers. 3 is enough for now. There is only 3, and of course the guide has his own house room there on the far left that's still made out of the wood, though he will be losing that because he don't get no special treatment. You don't actually do any jobs, remember, he just helps you out and gives you quests, so I don't see why he should get a nice house if you don't do any jobs. I might actually build a little tiny shed and put him in that, because it's a bit lazy. So I'm just going to rip out my floor now using a shovel and replace it for a stone floor. And voila. I think it looked better with the wood floor, if I'm honest. But never mind, I'm not doing that again. It'll do. And again, it saves us resources doing it that way. There are a few different options. Flooring wise, there's about 3 that you can pick from, and then there is a path as well, which is meant to be used outside, but I suppose you can use it however you wish. The wooden floor as well is like 3 different types, the same but different, and there are other stones and bricks that you can do later on, so it's not the end of it, but for now this is how it's going to look. And I do like the stone wall definitely with the stone pillars, but I do think that it makes it pop better with the wooden floor like the one on the right. And a better look at the world map now. You can see, I'm not sure if that's infinite or not, but that is a lot of squares that we need to unlock, each one having a different biome. Below us there, directly to the south, is an ice cold biome, and to the west of that is a desert biome. Now if you go to the corners of the map, you can of course go northwest, southwest, northeast, southeast, which is basically a diagonal on the world map. You can do that if you wish. Just go towards a corner and it will give you that option. So without further ado on that comment, here we go to the left of the map heading west, and you can see we can travel west, and then you can pick which tile west you want to go, whether that be northwest, west or southwest. You then appear on the map and continue to travel west, and this is now a brand new tile that we have unlocked. I'm assuming it's going to be a safe one because it's right at the start, but there are definitely hostile ones you can find. Also, using maps that you find can unlock the tiles without having to travel to them. So new grounds, new trees, new animals, and new people. These are friendlies. You can, of course, recruit all of them. There's the path, the outside path that I mentioned, was quite nice with a border. And this is a bit cheesy, but I do it every time because wool is hard to come by. I murder their animals. I tried it. No one was arguing with me. No one's attacking me. No one's falling out with me. So I am going to do it. The game lets me. Why not? Trough there to feed them, but of course we don't need that yet because we don't have an actual animal farm. There is a lot of furniture, all of which we can steal, including the beds. It is worth checking out the chests and the storage cupboards and the various other things that you can store things in. Dresses, etc., because they do have resources you can loot. And again, it doesn't upset anybody, so why not? They even have their own cave entrance up there to the north of their settlement, which will take you into an additionally brand new cave system. Likely harder than the one we started in, because that's where we start. If you saw then some of the resources they require to bring them over to your settlement, they're really expensive. But again, to be fair, my place isn't as nice as this one, so why would they? Turns out there's mages. That looks like a wizard mage to me. I'm going to say mage. Yeah, mage. It would be nice to have them back at our settlement. What can you do allows you to show what jobs they can do, so farming, forestry, hauling and crafting. And they enchant items for you. So effectively you have a permanent enchanter once you get one of them in your settlement. Master iron pickaxe. Tool damage, that's good. Nice stats. It would be nice to visit him in the future when I know a bit more about the resources, or at least the items that we have, because usually at the start of a game you go through them quite quick. Once you've got to a point where you're going to be stuck with the same item for a while, it's best to, of course, start leveling that up. Bottom left hand corner, raiders are approaching New Harville from the northwest, I think that said. So our town is under raid, so we need to get back sharpish. Nice and simple. It is pitch black, but we can just run past everything over to the coast. Now heading east, get in our boat and immediately head east. And I thought I was going to go right into the arrow then, and then back to our home base. So we've made it back, and as of yet they haven't attacked. It says they are preparing. Looking at the world map, you can see zooming out northwest they are. What is that? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 of them raiders. They will of course come in by a boat, and if you leave them long enough they will eventually come and attack the town. Now, other than your people and everybody in it, I'm not sure what they do, whether they steal anything or not. But I'm going to go and annoy them immediately, because why wait for them to get to my town and potentially hurt my people if I can handle it myself? Though it is on hard, so whether this was a good idea or not, we're about to find out. Advantage is that they're slower on the water than I am on the land, and I have a bow. They drop resources, mostly gold. Coming in for what looks like the last 2 and 1 and done. Raiders have been defeated. Raiders are leaving. I'm not sure how they're leaving, if they've been defeated already, but anyway, our little minion there was off fighting a random zombie in the pitch black of night. But we don't need to worry. He's still doing it, look. He don't care. He just goes off on one. So we can return home now. We gained some armor out of that at least. Can see some copper bouteilles and some leather bouteilles on the hotbar. So they've been dropped by the enemy. So that's good, because our own colonists can use those. The more armor they have, the longer they live, the safer they are. Though I am in all leather myself, so actually the copper bouteilles go to me, and then we've got 2 spare leather ones. So daylight, finally, it looks a lot better. Everything looks better in daylight, and with those items all kitted out to the colonists as best I can, of course we are going to have to now pay attention and make sure that we kit them all out moving forward. We obviously did kill a lot of cows, so there's a lot of leather, but I'd rather just wait and go to like copper and iron though, because copper is quite abundant in our mine, it seems. So that is where I'm going to go to make sure everybody's got their best armors before we try and take on the boss using all of my people. Hopefully it goes better. We will see. We'll find out in the next episode, as we are at time now. So thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please click like. Any comments are welcome. As always, subscribe for more. Join us on Discord. Take care. Goodbye.